Before we get started with today's video, we'd just like to remind you that if you get any value out of these videos, please either click the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or like our Facebook page. So thanks again. So what we're going to talk about today is if you're considering selling your home, how you get top dollar in today's market. I know everyone thinks that, oh, everybody's going to come along and they'll just pay me anything for my house. The market's so hot. Well, I'd like to show you how it really actually works, but we need to do a bit of the setup first to lead up to it. So first of all, as I've mentioned before, there's three types of markets. Now, we're in an extreme seller's market, and how the real estate board calculates a seller's market is that if over 21% of the properties sell, we are in, during any given month, we are in a seller's market. If between 13 and 20% of the properties sell, we are in a balanced market, and if below 12% or below of the properties sell, the real estate board calls that a buyer's market. Now, in a seller's market, if it continues that way over a period of time, which it has for the past couple of years now, and that's why we're seeing prices skyrocket. In a balanced market, you'll usually see prices stay flat, and if it's slow for an extended period of time in a buyer's market, that's when we'll see prices decline. What I want to talk about are the most current statistics that we have. In January, if anything, is even busier than December was. December is typically a slower month of the year, but this year wasn't so. So if you have a look at these ratios, you can see Eastside of Vancouver 32%, Westside 17%, West Van 16%, etc., etc. The only one that wasn't a seller's market was West Vancouver, and it was a balanced market. But then if we look at the prices below certain cutoff points in each market, as we have on this next graph here, you'll see that all the markets are seller's markets in the lower portion. The number that you see, for instance, on Vancouver East says up to 2.75 million, it's a 53% list to sell ratio. The West Side, up to 4 million, it's a 43% sales ratio, and on down the board. So the markets still remain extremely hot. But in spite of all of this, and here's an interesting thing that people never talk about 57% of the condos and townhouses on the market today are what I would deem to be overpriced. And 72% of the detached houses, even though there's an extreme shortage over the lower mainland, 72% of the detached houses are overpriced. So you can have a look at the ratios going through down here again. And what do I deem an overpriced home? It's something that's been on the market for more than 21 days. If your house, in my opinion, has been on the market more than 21 days, unless there's some really unusual circumstance, like maybe you had accepted an offer and that it had subjects on it and that offer collapsed. There's some of that in there too. So people may say, well, that skews your number, that makes it inaccurate. No, because some of the ones listed below or that have been on the market less than 21 days, well, they're overpriced too, and we're not going to know they're overpriced until they reach that 21-day mark and nobody's picked them up under these extremely hot market conditions. So to give you a little example, recently, and why I wanted to talk about this video, we recently had a condo for sale. The seller's objective was to get $600,000 for this property, and they wanted to list it at $624,900. Now, I agreed and listed the property with them at that price, and we got very little activity over the first weekend when we showed it. We had maybe 4 or 5 groups sell. So then what we did was we adjusted the price to create the auction effect that I'm going to talk about later on and tell you what happened. But in a nutshell, and I'm going to give you the details of how it worked later, we took it off the market for an hour or two, relisted it for $549,900, which it's a price too good to be true, and we were swamped the next weekend. We probably had 40 or 50 showings. We got 7 offers on the property, and we sold it for $600,000. So the moral of the story there is you have a better opportunity to get your price if you underlist it than if you overlist it. And we'll talk a little bit more about how that can only be in a crazy market like Vancouver, but that's true. What I want to go through next is how do do you create the auction effect for your home? What do you need to do to create multiple offers for your home like we did for this one? Well, the first thing you need to do, if your home doesn't look great and look beautiful in pictures, you need to get it professionally staged. It's not like 1965 anymore for realtors. People have a misconception about how realtors sell houses. I get asked a question of, how many buyers do you have for a house like mine right now? Well, I don't have any for your house right now. I won't have any until I market it for you, and then I will have a lot of them. And even if I did have buyers for your house right now, I can't represent them to buy your property. I don't, when I list your phone, go back and get on the phone and start phoning people. That was what they did in 1965 before there was an MLS. I am an expert at marketing your property properly on the internet, on the MLS. So what's the most important thing is that you have beautiful pictures. You know, if you've been looking at homes already to think that you may want to move into, we all sit there and do this until we see beautiful pictures. And once we see the beautiful pictures, that stops us. The very next thing we look at is the price. And then if we see a price that's too good to be true because you've deliberately underpriced it to create the auction effect, then you get the person excited about the property and they will make an appointment to see it. We also, what we would do pre-COVID, and it's different now with COVID, is we would try and make a crowd appear there. So when everyone saw all of the people there, it created a greater sense of urgency. Now we don't do that anymore. You have to make appointments, but people will know and they will ask, the realtors will ask me how many appointments I've got going through there. Now, even if people want to put an offer in on your house that day when they come, we don't let them do it because we want to make sure that everybody has seen that house, and we're not going to let them write an offer on it until the following, let's say, Tuesday. So 7 or 8 days after it's been on the market. And that's how you create the auction effect for your home. And that's how you get above asking. And the proof was in the pudding from that condo we just sold. At $624,900, nobody was interested in paying $600 for it. But at $549,900, we had a bunch of offers that were fairly close to the other one that eventually got the home. That's it. I hope that that's useful for you. We appreciate you taking the time to stick with the video till the very end here. If you'd like to find out how much your home is worth and how much it'll sell for in this market, just let us know. And we'll be back again to talk with you very soon.